Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raguna Khanditam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanditamscha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we welcome you all to our Sunday program. In the last session, we had a special guest, His Grace Gokuleshwar Prabhu, and I was seeking some feedback from him as to, if there's anything we can improve in our programs. So one of the things he mentioned is we should introduce Tulasi Maharani, Tulsi Aarti after every session. But I said before we can do that, I have to explain the glories of Tulsi Maharani. Who Tulsi Maharani is, why is it so glorious, why is it important to worship her, all this aspect. So our today's class is going to be on the glories of Tulasi Devi. To begin with, there is a background story, and this is going back in Vaikuntha, in the spiritual world. So once Mahavishnu, along with his three wives, Saraswati Devi, Ganga Devi and Lakshmi Devi, they were all sitting together. And as they were sitting together and having a conversation, Mahavishnu felt compassion for the conditioned living entities living in this material world who are suffering. So he thought, I should devise some way by which the people of this world can quickly come back to me. They can get my mercy. And what happens is when they are sitting together, he performs the Leela. So Ganga Devi looks very lustfully at Mahavishnu. And Saraswati notices this. Even Lakshmi Devi notices this. So Saraswati becomes very angry at Ganga and she catches hold of her hair and drags her down. And when Saraswati does this, Lakshmi Devi, in order to save Ganga Devi from assault, tries to protect Ganga Devi. So Saraswati becomes angry even at Lakshmi Devi and curses her. And what was the curse? That you will take birth as a plant in material world. So when Ganga hears this, Ganga curses Saraswati that you will become a river in the material world. And Saraswati, already being angry, curses back to Ganga saying, you will also become a river in the material world. And this way, all three comes down to this material world. Now Lakshmi Devi was like, what did I do wrong? She felt this was very unfair. She was very upset. So Mahavishnu takes her to the side and says, don't worry, this was all my plan. I arranged it because I want you all to go to the material world so that you can bestow your mercy upon the conditioned living entities so that they can come back to the spiritual world. So don't worry, you go to the material world, you will take a form of a plant and the entire world will worship you in the form of a plant, and through this you will be able to bestow mercy upon these living entities. And I'll be very pleased with your service. So like this happens, and this is the background story of how Tulasi Maharani comes down as a plant, in the form of a plant. There is a whole lot of story, there's a very big story. I'm not going to get into that because the focus of today's class is we want to focus on the glories of Tulasi Maharani. So there are a lot of details which I'm not going to get into, but we will just discuss the glories. So the greatness of Tulsi Devi, this plant, is that it is completely spiritual. Although it may appear to be one of the material items here, it is completely spiritual. It is not like any other plant. Everything about Tulsi Maharani is spiritual. Tulsi Maharani's trunk, branches, leaves, twigs, soil, even including the shade of Tulsi Maharani is spiritual. So it is said that one should not even step on the shade or the shadow of Tulsi Devi because it is such an auspicious plant. In fact, in India we see that, of course, devotees and Vaishnavas, they have Tulsi plant in their house and they regularly worship them. But in India we see even those who are non-devotees, who are not in Vaishnava culture, they also have Tulsi plant in their courtyard. Many houses you go, they will have a plant in the courtyard. It's Tulsi Maharani because they understand the importance of it. So even from a materialistic point of view, Tulsi Maharani has a lot of benefits. Ayurveda recognizes the medicinal benefits that Tulsi leaves can give. So many times people take Tulsi patta to cure, as a medicine to cure throat, bad throat, cold, cough, fever, respiratory diseases and so on. But as devotees, we focus more on the spiritual value of Tulsi Maharani. And the spiritual value is that we value or we worship Tulsi Maharani is because she is very dear to Lord Krishna. She is serving the Supreme Lord's lotus feet all the time. So you will see Tulsi Patta is offered at the feet of Krishna or Lord Vishnu because she is a great devotee of Lord Vishnu. So whenever we offer bhoga to Krishna, we must have Tulsi Patta in each of our offering. Without Tulsi Patta, Krishna does not accept our offering. And there is a whole story behind that, why it happens, but I won't go into it. The important aspect is, without Tulsi leaf, Krishna does not accept. So we must have Tulsi leaf for each offering when we offer bhoga to Krishna. Now Tulsi Maharani is so auspicious and so powerful that all kinds of diseases, evil effects, ghosts, they all stay away from the place where there is Tulsi plant. That's why Vaishnavas, they wear Kanthimala. This Kanthimala is made up of Tulsi wood. And it is said that wherever Tulsi is, even Yamdutas forget about coming there, they don't even look in that direction. So if we just want to be protected from Yamadutas, we should wear Tulsi Mala, Kanthi. So there is one very nice story in this regard. Once there was a Brahmana. Now this Brahmana, although he was a son of a Brahmana, he did not have any Brahmanical qualifications. He was a very sinful man. So what he would do as an occupation to earn money, he would go into the forest and cut grass and then bring those grasses, bunches of grasses back into this village and sell. And this is how he used to make a living. So once he went to the forest and he had a bunch of grass on his head, and as he was coming back, he saw a grove of tulsi leaves, a Vrindavan, where a lot of tulsis were growing. So as soon as he saw that, he became very attracted, and he kind of felt a spiritual bliss that he could not understand, a very extraordinary bliss that he felt, because he was spiritually uneducated. He did not know the importance of tulsi. But just by seeing tulsi, he felt a kind of joy, which is hard to explain. And he was very much attracted by the dazzling colors of the leaves of Tulsi Maharani. So he said, let me take some of this with me to the village and I'll sell it. Maybe somebody may want to buy it because they look so attractive. Surely it will have some value. So as he was going to approach this grove of Tulsi, Yamdutas appeared because it was his time to leave the body. But Yamdutas saw that this man is approaching Tulsi Devi. So immediately they ordered a cobra, nearby cobra, to go and bite him. Now, but they told cobra also, go quickly, because if he touches Tulsi, then we will not be able to do anything. Because our jurisdiction is not within the realm where Tulsi is. So you go quickly and bite this man so we can take him to our master Yamaraj. So as the man was proceeding, the cobra on the order of Yamdutas quickly slithered through and came to bite. But by the time he reached the man had touched Tulsi Devi. And now Yamdutas could not do anything, although his time has come. So cobra was also confused what to do. So he went and hid himself in the bunch that he was carrying on his head, the grass bunch. Now, Yamdutas is saying cobra is in the head, and as soon as it touched Tulsi Maharani, Sudarshan Chakra also appeared to protect him. So there is Yamdutas, there is cobra, and there is Sudarshan Chakra. Now this man is unaware, he can't see any of these three. So he just takes a bunch of Tulsi Devi's plant in his head, and he is heading back to the village. And as he was closer to the village, the very first house was the house of a pure devotee, a pure Vaishnava. And when this pure Vaishnava comes out and sees this man coming with a bunch of Tulsi plant in his hand, he becomes very happy and he goes to the man. But he also sees that on one side there are Yamdutas, on the other side there is Sudarshan Chakra, and on his head is a cobra. So when this Vaishnava sees that there are Yamdutas and Sudarshan Chakra and all, so he goes to Yamdutas. No, you cannot take him. You see, he's a very good man. He is come with Tulsi, and this will help me in my worship of Krishna. So please don't take him. The Yamduta said, his time has come. We have to take him up. We have got an order from Yamaraj. We are just waiting for him to leave this bunch of Tulsi so we can grab him. When this Vaishnava came to know about this, he thought, I have to save this man. Somehow or the I have to save this one. So what he does, he takes this man, a Brahmana, sinful Brahmana, to the temple of Vishnu and makes him worship Vishnu through the Tulsi leaves that he had. So both of them went to the temple and they are worshipping Tulsi leaves through using the Tulsi leaves. And by this, that Brahmana's heart changes. Although he is a very sinful man, his heart changes and he engages in devotional service day after day after day. And that way, in the Puranic story, it is said that eventually they both enter Vaikuntha. So this is the potency of Tulsi Maharani, that even by just holding it, Yamdutas cannot touch us. So everyone must have Tulsi Maharani in their house. Do we all have Tulsi Maharani here? Yeah? So every day we should have Tulsi Maharani and we should worship and at least put some water. And if we can do Aarti, that is very nice. We can even do Pradikshana of Tulsi Maharani. So what we will do today, after the class, we are also going to do Tulsi Aarti. And we'll sing a Tulsi Aarti and prayers of Tulsi Maharani, and then we will get everyone to put some water and do Pradikshana.
Oh, here?
Yes, here. So one of the other glories is, it is said that Tulsi Maharani can burn millions and millions of sins committed in our past lives. It is said, Yani kani chapapani brahma hatyadi kani cha tani tani pranashanti pradakshina pade pade. Just by circumambulating Tulsi Maharani, millions and millions of sins are burnt at every step. Even the sin of killing a Brahmana. Brahma Hatya is a very grievous sin. There are so many types of sins, but killing a Brahmana is considered to be most sinful. There is a very severe reaction for that. Cows and Brahmanas, these are severe reactions. So it is said that those who circumambulate Tulsi Maharani every day, even if they had committed the sin of killing a Brahmana in their past life or even this present life, they can be relieved of that sin. So this is the glory and power of Tulsi Maharani. So we should every day do this. We'll take questions at the end, okay? Let me finish the stories and then we can take questions. So in Bhagavad Gita, there is a very nice verse in chapter number 9, text number 26. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti uprahatam ashnami prayatatmana. Krishna says that if anyone who offers me patram, leaf, pushpam, flower, phalam, fruit, toyam, water, with devotion, I accept his offering. So Krishna is so easily accessible that even the poorest of the poorest men can worship Krishna. It is not hard to find a leaf, a flower or a fruit or water. Isn't it? Anybody can have this item and then worship the Supreme Lord with devotion. So Krishna is very easily accessible. But in this verse, the patram is actually especially referring to Tulsi leaf. When you offer Tulsi leaf to Supreme Lord, along with sandalwood paste, he becomes extremely pleased with that devotee. Extremely pleased. So sandalwood may be a little difficult to get and may be expensive for anyone to buy. So in the verse we saw patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam. The last one was water. So if somebody can take a leaf of Tulsi, and water is referring to Ganga water. If they can take some Ganga water and Tulsi leaf and offer it at the feet of Supreme Lord becomes extremely pleased with that devotee. So just see how easy it is to worship the Supreme Lord. We don't need to have chappan bhogs every day. Even a leaf we can offer and please the Supreme Lord. But if we have the capacity to cook chappan bhog, then we should not think, okay, let me just offer a leaf. Saste mein pad gaya, chalo. If you can afford to offer, we should. But if you can't, then even a leaf will satisfy the Supreme Lord. Because always remember, when we give charity, it is not, Krishna doesn't see how much we have given. Krishna says how much you have kept for yourself. So, a person may be earning millions of dollars, but if he is giving only $100, Krishna doesn't see the $100. He sees the million minus $100 that you have kept for yourself. So, Krishna is hungry for devotees' devotion, not for all these other items. So, everything that we offer must be accompanied with bhakti. Without devotion, it just becomes like a ritual. So, if we don't have devotion, what to do? Shall we not offer anything to Krishna? No, we should. We should offer and pray to Krishna that, my dear Lord, although I am doing this mechanically, ritualistically, please give me some devotion for you. Please be pleased with my service. And gradually we will develop devotion for the Lord. This chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is so recommended because it can give us love of Godhead. It can awaken our love for the Supreme Lord. That's why chanting every day is extremely important. So I hope you are all chanting every day. Yes? At least one round. If not, please get this practice in your life and you will see amazing results, amazing benefits. So, in relation to offering Tulsi and Ganga water, there is a very nice example from Chaitanya Charitamrita. There is actually a verse. Let me quote the verse first. the verse is Tulasi dala matrena jalasya kulu chulukena va vikrinite swamatmanam bhaktebhyo bhaktavatsala. Sri Krishna, who is very affectionate towards his devotees, sells himself to a devotee who offers merely a tulsi leaf and a palmful of water. Krishna sells himself to that devotee. You can only imagine. Krishna feels that I have nothing to give to this devotee who has offered me a tulsi leaf and little Ganga water. So I will give myself to him. You see the amazing magnanimity of Krishna. So in this relation, there was an example of Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya was in Navadvip. Navadvip is in West Bengal. When he was here, he saw, and this is 500 years ago, not too long ago, 500 years ago, when he saw that the condition of Navadvip was very precarious. There was no devotee at that time. Even those who were practicing devotional service, they were just doing it as a matter of show, just to have some popularity. That's all. There was no devotee. There was no proper devotional service being followed. And he was becoming very worried, and with his compassion, he thought the only way to rectify the situation is if the Supreme Lord himself comes down to this world and preaches the path of bhakti, then only this situation will be resolved. So he decided that I will call that Supreme Lord to come down. So that Advaita Acharya is actually an incarnation of Mahavishnu. So what he does, he remembers this verse that I just quoted. Jalasya, Tulsi Jalasya, Tulsi Dala Matrena Jalasya Chulukena va. He thought, let me offer Ganga water mixed with Tulsi leaf, and I'll do this every day and very lovingly call the Supreme Lord to come and take avatar, to descend to this world. So every day he's praying, and then one day Mahavishnu decides to come in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes 500 years ago and then propagates this chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the Sankirtan movement, and rectifies the whole situation. Also, Tulsi Maharani's glory is that in ISKCON there is a system that after Tulsi Aarti is done in the morning, Tulsi is placed in the middle and all the devotees surround Tulsi Maharani and then they chant their japa every day because it has a very spiritual potency. And this practice is followed everywhere in ISKCON temples. And there is also an example, this is of Haridas Thakur, who was Namacharya. This is also again 500 years ago when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there. So Haridas Thakur would every day sit in front of Tulsi Maharani and chant 300,000 names of Krishna. That means he would chant 192 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It takes 24 hours. 24 hours he was chanting daily in front of Tulsi Maharani. Once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was sitting and chanting, and devotees, they bought a small plant of Tulsi Maharani and kept it next to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw that, he became so pleased. He said, just as a fish out of water hankers for water, I every day hanker to see Tulsi Maharani. So that's how dear Tulsi Devi is to Krishna. Then there is another example of Govardhan Hill. You know, when Krishna lifted Govardhan Hill, he requested all the Vrajavasis to bring all your food, kheer, puri, sabzi, bring and he will eat. So all the Vrajavasis, they went and they cooked so many items and they brought to Govardhan, and Govardhan very happily ate. And after everything was finished, he said, Aniyor, Aniyor, that means bring more, bring more. So the Vrajavasis, they went to the next village. They bought everything, that was also finished. Another village, they bought everything, everything was finished. Like that, everything, all the food stuff they had in their house, they offered it to Govardhan. And Govardhan ate everything and still he was saying, Aniyor, Aniyor. So they said, we don't have anything at home. What to do now? So one of the wise elderly Rajwasi, he said, take one tulsi leaf and go and give it in the hand of Govardhan. So they went, took a leaf and went and gave it to Govardhan, and after that Govardhan was fully satisfied. He said, I don't want anything more, I am completely full. So Tulsi Maharani has so much Mahima, that even Krishna becomes completely satisfied with Tulsi. And there is another story also, Tulabhar story of Krishna. You may have heard. Once in Dwarka, Krishna had a birthday. And the devotees there, they decided that we will give Krishna gift as per his weight. So they made him sit on one side of the scale, and on the other side they said we will put everything that we have, so that when it becomes equal to his weight, that will be his gift for this birthday. So Krishna was sitting on one side of the scale, and they all bought their gifts, all the jewelry and so many things. But the tilt did not, the scale did not move even a little bit. And devotees were now getting perplexed. सब कुछ दे दिया, अब क्या दें इनको, ये तो हिल ही नहीं रहा है बिल्कुल, wait. So Narad Muni appeared on the scene, and they went to Narad Muni and said, what to do now, this scale is not moving. So he said, remove everything, just put one tulsi leaf. So they removed everything and just put one tulsi leaf, and immediately the scale tilted. So for Tulsi Maharani is so dear to Krishna. As soon as Tulsi was placed, he became light with happiness. There are so many other points and glories on Tulsi Devi. It is said that one who worships Lord Krishna with the leaves of Tulsi Devi has already released all his ancestors from the realm of birth and death. So just by worshipping Tulsi Devi, we release our ancestors. One who worships Tulsi Devi has already satisfied his guru, the Brahmins, the demigods, and all the holy places. All forms of ghosts and demons run away from the place where Tulsi Devi is planted, and all kinds of sinful reactions are destroyed when one comes close to Tulsi Devi. One who makes a garden of Tulsi plant gets a result of all charities and of 100 fire sacrifices. It is said that if you just plant Tulsi plant with the seed, it is like you have burnt all your sins just by planting one Tulsi plant, sowing a seed of Tulsi plant. Just as the Ganges water is purifying all who bathe in her, so Tulsi Devi is purifying all the three worlds. In that house where the mud from the Tulsi Devi is kept, all the demigods along with Lord Krishna will always reside. So Lord Krishna resides in the house where there is Tulsi Devi. So there are so many of them. Okay, so I'll stop here. We'll take some questions and then we'll do Tulsi Aarti. Yes?
Is it good that we start planting Tulsi Mata plants on our birthday?
Yeah, very nice. Any day is good. There are certain rules though. There are certain rules we have to see. On Ekadasi we don't cut Tulsi plants. And we don't do grafting and all that on Tulsi Maharani because she is a spiritual personality. We can, yeah, we can. Some people have said we can't, but in ISKCON the system is we water every day, even on Ekadasi day, but we should not cut the leaves.
Yeah. There are certain times we can take the leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in the morning we can, but afternoon we can't.
It's a good question. So, or what times we can cut Tulsi leaves? The preferable time is in the morning. Yeah. And you take it once, take the leaves, and then we offer it. If the leaves have fallen down from the plant, those leaves can also be taken, washed and offered to Krishna. So it doesn't have to be the ones only on the branches. Even the fallen leaves can be. Yeah. So that was another question. These are all very popular questions. Somebody says that tulsi leaf should only be swallowed; they should not be chewed. Well, the first preference is to swallow it, but if you can't, then you'll have to chew it. Not everybody can swallow it. So the first preference is to swallow it if possible.
Very good to have when we go in the Tulsi Mata plant, right? That's why we do it in the morning.
Sorry?
That's because we do it in the morning because the sunlight absorbs vitamin D2.
Yeah.
Which is very good.
Morning is a preferable time, yeah.
And who is the Yamuna Das? Yamuna Das. Who is the Yamuna Das? You said in the story.
Yamdutas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Yamadutas. Yamadutas are the servants of Yamaraj. Yamaraj is god of death. So when people die in this world, they go to Yamlok, where Yamaraj is the king.
Is that like hell?
No, from there he sends people to hell. If they are very sinful, they are sent to hell. So Yamadutas are the servants of Yamaraj. So when a person is about to die, Yamaraj will send his servants, Yamadutas, to go and capture that soul and bring them. And then judgment is done with how much and which planet, how much he needs to suffer and where.
After you go to the, for example, the worst world, you also die there. You go back to Yamraj, and then you go into a higher or lower or here.
So when you are taken to Yamlok, you are taken in a particular body. It's called Yatna Sarir. And in that Yatna Sarir, you are punished. And then finally you will take birth somewhere.
Either higher or lower.
Either higher or lower,
What
yeah.
if you are higher, then do you get punished or only if you are lower?
If the person's sin, it depends on the sinful activities they've done. If they've done lot of sinful activities, then they'll be punished and then take birth in a lower species, like become like a dog or cat or something like that.
Done like a little bad, but mostly good.
So then there'll be very little bit of punishment and then you'll take a good birth. So it all depends on the amount of pious and impious activities a living entity has done in this world. Yeah. So if there is manjar, the flower that Tulsi Maharani has, if we pluck them, then the Tulsi Maharani will grow nicely. So we can pluck them, and that Tulsi manjaris can also be offered to the Lord if you want to. Manjar जो होता है ना तुलसी में से जो flowers, you can see there is a big so there are leaves and then there is a flower,
Oh, like the purple.
so that is called manjari.
Are they like purple or the white?
So Radharani and Tulsi, okay, this is a very good question. This reminds me of one very important point. Tulsi Devi can only be offered to Krishna and Vishnu Tattva. They cannot be offered to any other devotees. Not even to Radharani. So Tulsi leaf should be placed at the lotus feet of Krishna, not to the feet of anybody else.
Not even now.
Tulsi is only meant for Krishna and Vishnu Tattva. So even with Radharani, we never place Tulsi at the feet of Radharani. Tulsi can be placed in the hands of Radharani and Radharani can then offer it to Lord Krishna. They are all Shakti Tattva. Tulsi Maharani is also Shakti Tattva, Srimati Radharani is also Shakti Tattva. Ultimately, they are all expansions of Krishna only. So Tulsi Maharani in the spiritual world is like a director of Krishna's pastimes. So she makes the arrangement where Krishna and Radharani can meet each other. So Tulsi Maharani has a very important role to play in the spiritual world. So that's the relationship. They are all Shakti Tattva only.
But what if you just keep the tulsi in the plate? There is for example rice mutton. You just keep the tulsi in the plate.
Keep Tulsi in the plate, in the rice. I didn't understand your question.
The plate, there's rice there, and you put a tulsi on the plate.
Oh, okay, right. While offering. Yeah, that's fine. No problem. The hot dal. We don't put tulsi leaf in hot dal. So we just place it next to the bowl
Yeah, that's
in the plate.
This is not about the Tulsi Mata, but in the book that I read was good, like perfect answers and perfect questions. It said, this person said to Srila Prabhupada, who, like, how do we know if we're educated? And then Srila Prabhupada said that we are educated if we only know and understand who God is.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes. If you know Krishna, you know everything. If you don't know Krishna, but you may have a PhD, what is the use? The highest doctorate degree.
because Krishna is
What is the use? Because Krishna is the source of everything. When you understand the source, you also understand its creation. So knowing Krishna, you will know everything. So that is correct. Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. So now we'll have Tulsi Aarti.